explaining the lesson plans, the individual lesson plans. So, for my part, which is the lesson plan, this is my lesson plan, by the way. I will be presenting a reading lesson plan designed for a year 4 class. The theme is World of Knowledge and the focus is on reading. The topic for this lesson is digital sports rhyme game. So for the content standard of my lesson plan, the first one is to recognize words in linear and non-linear text by using knowledge and sounds of letters. The second one is to understand a variety of linear and non-linear print and digital text by using appropriate reading strategies. And then the third one is to read independently for information and enjoyment. On the other hand, for learning standard, it is to understand the main idea of simple text of 2 paragraphs or more, and then to understand specific information and details of 2 paragraphs or more, and then to guess the meaning of unfamiliar words from clues provided by title, topic, and other known words. The last one is to use with support familiar and digital resources to check the meaning. By the end of this lesson, pupils will be able to identify rhyming words accurately, and also pupils can be able to read short rhymes aloud with proper pronunciation, and they can match each sport to its corresponding images. The success criteria include accurately matching rhyming words, reading rhymes aloud with proper pronunciation, and also associating spots with their images. The lesson begins with an engaging set induction. I will display images of different spots using Canva, and then I will ask the pupils to identify them. This serves as a warm-up before introducing the concepts of rhyming words. Next, I will display a digital poem titled Run and Fun, and then I will read it aloud, emphasizing rhyming words such as run, fun, kick, and pick. Pupils will then repeat after me and discuss the rhyming method. For the main activity, as you can see here, pupils will participate in 2 interactive word wall quizzes. The first quiz, Find the Rhyme. It requires the pupils to identify hidden rhyming words. On the other hand, for the second activity, Match the Rhyme, pupils have to find their rhyming pairs. Both activities use a leaderboard to foster engagement and motivation within the students themselves. So in the post-lesson activity, pupils will recap key vocabulary and rhyming words. They will answer and exit questions on word wall by matching the spots to its corresponding images. And then for the assessment and reflection, assessment will be based on the pupils' ability to match rhyming words and identify spots correctly. Observations will be made during the quiz to gauge understanding. This lesson integrates 21st century skills such as technology literacy, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. Moral values include fostering teamwork and also creativity. And now for the second lesson plan, I will pass it to Nazurah.
Thank you to Izzah for presenting her lesson plan. Now I will present mine. So for my lesson plan, I also use the same theme, which is the world of knowledge, except for my lesson plan, we are focusing more on listening. So for the content standard, it is to understand meaning in a variety of familiar contexts. And for the learning standards, is to understand with support the main idea of longer, simple text. So here are the objectives of my lesson plan. By the end of this lesson, the students will be by playing and engaging song for the students to listen and move along, so they are engaged from the start. And then the teacher will introduce the topic, and then we will play a word wall game, which is a flashcard where the students will have to guess the sports based on their sports equipment. And then for the main activity, for the main activity, we will use a generally board game with listening tasks. For example, in certain squares of the board game, there will be questions alongside with audio. So this will help the students to identify the sports all along while they are listening to the correct pronunciation of each sports and sports equipment. And then for this game, pupils will work in groups, so they are able to collaborate. So they are able to collaborate with each others. And then for post activity or production, people will recap the key vocabulary and then do a short consolidation exercise, such as word wall activity, which they will match sports equipment with the correct sports. And then for the values in my lesson plan, which will be teamwork and confidence. And for the 21st century skill, it will be active listening, collaboration, and teamwork, and digital literacy. And for assessment, there are two people's responses to listening tasks during the board game, and then group participation and ability to collaborate on answers. So that's all for my lesson plan. I will pass on to Izzah.
NAZURAH and Izzati. But my lesson plan, the content standard is first to communicate simple information intelligently, and the reading standard is to describe people, places, and objects using suitable statements. This is where in my lesson plan I focus and stress on adjective. Okay, so the vocabulary used is basically sports in vocabulary that have in sports, and also adjectives that related to sports. And then the objectives is described where by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to describe their favorite sport and explain why they like it using complete sentences. And then the success criteria is that people can state their favorite sport confidently. So for the introduction, for my introduction set, where I will play a short YouTube video where the video focus and always repeat the sentence, what sport do you like, why do you like it. You know, it can it's a YouTube video where I like playing football, I like playing basketball. So it will repeat. So it will be repeated, so the students can understand how to exactly state your favorite in sports. Okay, next for the teacher me shows pictures of different sports and sports equipment, and then the students will discuss and identify sports and related equipment. Alongside that, the teacher will also introduce the vocabulary related to the sports. And again, training on sentence patterns such as I like white because it's white. So it follows sports and adjective. Next is one. People read the text that discusses various sports and includes opinions about them. And then the text will later give impact on students where they are able to make a comparison between one sport and another sport. Like for example, basketball is more fun than football. And then I also prepare an online quiz for this lesson plan. And then for the quiz, where teacher only need to recap what the lesson, the whole lesson. And then teacher also highlights the importance of staying active and trying different sports. And teacher encourages people to practice English, speaking English, because in my lesson plan I focus on video. The teacher will play this video. It's only about 5 minutes video, but it can be shortened because I only estimate for the induction set to be about 5 minutes. And then for the presentation, I use Mentimeter. I also provide link where I also provide YouTube link where I explain about how to use Mentimeter at the bottom of this area of this row. I provide a link so that people can see how to really use Mentimeter. And then production, the text, and also the quiz, I put it in the comment section so that other teachers can refer to it. And then for the closure, also I use Mentimeter for the closure because Mentimeter allow me to get a live responses from the students. So it's really helpful, and I want teachers out there to use Mentimeter also. So I prepared a video explaining how to use my teaching kit, how to use Mentimeter teaching kit. Okay, so that's all for our lesson plan, individual lesson plan. Now I'll be moving on to our final product, which is a sports wizard. So this is Sport Wizard. So welcome to Sport Wizards, a dynamic learning resource kit designed to make learning exciting through sports and games. The name Sport Wizards reflects the idea of mastering physical and communication skills with creativity and ease, just like a wizard mastering spells. So the dominant use of purple, as you can see here, we use a lot of purple color at the front of the speech because in purple, the design represents creativity, wisdom, and ambition. Purple is also known for promoting mental focus and emotional balance, creating a calm yet stimulating environment. This thoughtful color choice helps to keep students motivated and engaged while enhancing memory retention and strategic thinking. Okay, the theme of Sport Wizards, why we center Sport Wizards, is because the theme of Sport Wizards centers around teamwork, strategic thinking, and active participation. So by combining sports with language learning, students are encouraged to develop confidence, improving listening skills, and communicate effectively in a fun and interactive setting. And at the front page, we also include content standard and learning standard. Okay, content standards and learning standards is very crucial in teaching because it ensures that the activities are aligned with the educational framework. So the content standards define the knowledge and skills students are expected to develop, while the learning standards outlines specific learning outcomes that reflect students' understanding and ability to apply what they have learned. So this structured approach ensures that students meet both academic and personal development goals, fostering a well-rounded learning experience. As you can see here, this button, or you can just tap on the teaching kit here, the content, we have induction set, presentation and practice, production and closure. We already arrange it accordingly to what we should present to the kids, to the students. So it is a structured approach, starting with an induction set to introduce concepts, followed by presentation and practice to reinforce learning, and ending with production and closure to assess understanding and reflect on progress. So this structured approach helps students progress smoothly from understanding to mastery. So basically, our teaching kit really helpful for the teachers to create a very interactive plan, a very interactive lesson, a very interactive teaching environment where just click on this side and you will be served with all teaching materials that you need, that will be presented by think that's all for my part. I will be passing the presentation to Izzah.
Okay, so now moving on to our teaching kit. As you can see here, there are 4 subtopics in our teaching kit, which are induction set, presentation and practice, production and closure. But today, I will only explain 2 of the subtopics, which are induction set and presentation and practice. The other 2 will be presented by NAZURAH after this. Okay, so for the induction set, as you can see here, there is a YouTube link. As NIESSA mentioned earlier, this is only a 5 minutes YouTube video, but I think I will not show the whole video because it takes time, so we will just skip it. The focus of this video is on sports and rhyming words. By the end of this lesson, pupils will be able to identify rhyming words and understand how they work through engaging activities like this. To begin, we will start with a short video about sports to set the context for our lesson. So this is the video. To grab the pupils' attention, I will tell them we are going to watch a fun video about different sports. While watching, try to notice which sports are shown and listen carefully for any words that sound similar. Before playing the video, I will ask the pupils to think about their favorite sports and what they already know about them. This simple prompt helps them to stay engaged in the game. Like if they have something that they can relate to, then they will be more motivated to learn about that. And then while the video plays, I will observe their reactions to ensure that they are actively watching and paying attention to both the visuals and the sound of the words. So as you can see here, like the YouTube video, there are many visuals and also colors which will make the students more engaged to learn about that. After the video, I will ask open-ended questions to encourage discussions and critical thinking among the students. I will ask them questions like, what sports did you see in the video? Which sport did you like the most? And also, did you hear any words that rhyme? To make the discussion more interactive, I will have pupils to turn to a partner and discuss their favorite sports before sharing their answers with the class. This encourages participation, especially for those who might be shy about speaking in a large group. As I mentioned earlier, when the students find their partner who have the same interest with them, they are more likely to share their interest and then be more confident in engaging with other students. And then next, I will ask them, can you think of any words, of any sports related words that sound similar? If needed, I will guide them with hints such as run, fun, or kick, pay. Pupils then who find rhyming pairs will be invited to share their answers aloud in the class. Now, I will connect this discussion to our lesson objective by saying, today we are going to explore rhyming words. Just like some sports and equipment have names that sound alike, rhyming words share similar ending sounds. After that, I will introduce key vocabulary from the video that will be useful in our lesson plan. So, as I mentioned earlier, the words are run and fun, jump and thump, throw and go. As I introduce these words, I will write them on the board and say them aloud, emphasizing the rhyming words. I will also encourage pupils to repeat them after me to reinforce their pronunciation of certain spots. Finally, I will explain that recognizing rhyming words help improve reading skills and make learning new words easier. This introduction not only sets the stage for our lesson, but also engages pupils in a meaningful way. By using a video, open discussions and interactive participation, I believe that we, teachers, can create a fun and supportive learning environment. Now that pupils are familiar with rhyming words, we can move on to the next part of our lesson, which is the presentation I will be demonstrating a short segment from a reading lesson focused on sports and rhyming words. So this activity, the Canva that I showed you earlier, is designed to engage pupils visually and orally while reinforcing their reading skills. To begin, I will display various sports images on interactive board using Canva. I will ask the pupils, can you name these sports? And encourage them to describe what they see. We will then discuss the similarities and the differences between those sports. For example, how is football different from basketball? And also, how is running similar to cycling? This activity will help students to make connections between different sports. Next, I will introduce rhyming words by explaining that some words sound alike at the end. For example, in sports we say run and fun. Now, can you hear how they sound similar? I will then encourage pupils to think of other rhyming words related to sports such as jump and thumb or kick and pick. Now, I will display the digital poem Run and Fun on the screen. Okay, so this is the poem Run and Fun. I will read it aloud and with clear pronunciation and rhythm, emphasizing the rhyming words. After we all finish reading, I will highlight the rhyming tests in the poem, such as run and fun, and then kick and pick. Then I will ask the pupils, can you find more words that rhyme? This interactive approach encourages them to listen carefully and apply their learning. Through this activity, pupils not only can expand their vocabulary, but also develop phonemic awareness, which is very crucial for reading fluency. This engaging approach ensures that learning is both fun and effective. And now, I will pass the presentation to NAZURAH.
Okay, thank you, Izzah. So now we will move on to the production. So, for production, the game is called the Rhyming Sports Matching Game, which we will use word wall to match the sports with the sports equipment. So you might think where exactly does the rhyming goes? So the rhyming goes when the students are able to match the sports with the equipment. For example, like racket with badminton. So what words rhymes with racket? For example, they say jacket. So that does rhyme, and so they are able to use their to boost phonological awareness for them and use critical thinking. So the main goal here, the main goal of this the main goal of this game is to encourage pupils to apply the vocabulary they have learned before in the presentation and practice. They had learned about the rhyming skills after all. So they are able to apply what they had learned and then practice speaking in an interactive and low pressure environment. So this can improve their creativity and phonological awareness. So indeed for this activity, you can do it both individually or in groups. So it's easier for them if they need a partner to think together with. So when they are able to collaborate with their partners or groups or even individually, we are not just teaching them language. There we are also helping them to build their confidence in speaking English language and their social skills in every session. So practically, the production activity helps the pupils to apply vocabulary, to practice rhyming, to build speaking confidence, to collaborate and think creatively, all while having fun. So now I will show a little demonstration on how this game works, just briefly. So, volleyball, for example, here the students have to think critically what equipment does volleyball use. So below here is the answer. So what sports, what kind of equipment do you see there? So here the biggest equipment you see is the net. So practically the answer is net. So that's how this game works. Okay, and then we will move on to the closure. So for closure, now that the students have learned and practiced everything, we will focus on reflecting and connecting what they had learned in the previous activity to how they can apply them to real life. So, for example, we could ask them and help them reflect by asking what sports do you like and why do you like it so much, and is this sports better than this sports, or do you prefer this sports over this sports? And then so this will help people to consolidate learning and also share their own personal opinions. So when they are able to slowly, we are able to help them to practice speaking in full sentences. So when you are doing a recap of what we had learned in the lesson before, it is compulsory for the teachers to encourage their students to speak, to motivate them. But like for example, by showing that you are listening to them, you are doing active listening to them and reacting to them, like giving them a thumbs up or saying very good, giving them encouragement, and then give them feedbacks like great job on using full sentences, and I like how you explain your ideas. And then this when you motivate the student, this will help them build their self-esteem and encourages them to speak English more confidently. So by the end of the lesson, you can also link the lesson to healthy living. For example, like sports keep us strong and healthy, and sports help us make friends. For example, because certain sports do need collaboration between groups, and then this promotes well-being and positive values beyond language learning. So lastly, before you end the lesson, it is important to encourage them to use English outside the classroom. For example, you could tell your students something like, tell your parents what your favorite sports in English, or tell your parents what you had learned today in classroom. And then maybe something even like when you play, name the equipment in English. So this ensures learning isn't just in the classroom, it goes home and into the real life. So after the closure, the students will be able to reinforce their vocabulary and speak about their own personal preference, connect learning to real life, promote healthy habits, and live with clear takeaways. So that's all for our kit. Now I will, in conclusion, this kit is more than a teaching tool because it is an engaging experience that blends language, creativity, and life skills. So it is practical, impactful, and designed to make every learning session fun and memorable. So that's all from me and my group. I'd like to say thank you to the judges for listening to our presentation.